itself. So once you start doing a little bit of research on your food, you're going to want to look at, or maybe not look at, depending, where chickens come from, and learning about where a lot of commercially available chickens come from is quite disgusting and frightening. And once reading about it or seeing videos, it's pretty hard to go back. So there are a couple things to think about. Well, it's a store-bought chicken. It's organic, and you can see that I'm taking some of the leftovers, some of the liver and the gizzards and the heart there. Took that out. Sometimes I cook them, sometimes I don't. Kind of depends on my mood, and just trimming up. But back to thinking about what you want in a bird. First, do you want it to be fed organic feed? Do you want it to be local? And do you want it to have what kind of access to the outside? So do you want a pasture-raised bird? Do you want a bird that's in a raised in a crate and really can't have any room to move around? Do you want it to have a beak when it's alive? That's not normally a question most people think about, but in some of the commercially produced chickens, they are de-beaked so that they don't hurt each other, because they kind of go insane and start pecking at each other. So if that's the kind of bird you want, that's going to be the least expensive. Once I found out about that, I really couldn't go that level, so I sort of have a middle-of-the-road bird. I've tried pasture-raised birds, and my family and I aren't a huge fan of the taste, so we ended up with a responsibly farmed organic bird that has access, more than just access, but it's actually on the pasture some, but it's not a full pasture raised chicken, and that seems to work out best for us. So it's sort of a much better than most commercial birds, but not quite as far out there as a pasture raised, lean, totally organic pasture bird. So that's our chicken, and you can see I cut the backbone out and butterflied it, and all you have to do is lay it in your pan and lean on a little bit, and you'll crack the backbone. And basically you want the breastbone and the thigh bone to be about the same level. So fold it up, press it all down, and now I'm just, that's some ghee, some melted ghee, which is basically clarified butter, and brushing it with that. The ghee can take a higher temperature than butter or olive oil without burning, so that's why I chose to use it. And again, as we think about what we're using, there may have been times in the past that I used canola oil. After learning about how canola oil is made, I couldn't do that anymore either. So that was another ingredient that found its way out of my kitchen. So no more canola oil for me. Olive oil seems to work all right. It doesn't taste bad. It's just it's at a temperature that most people would recommend you don't use olive oil. So in the beginning there, I don't know if you saw, but I had preheated my oven to 450, and it took me about 10 minutes to get the chicken ready, and I put it in the oven at almost 6:45, and now it's been in the 450 oven for about an hour. And obviously you want to be careful when grabbing that pan, and it should be done. So an hour seems to be the magic time. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, that's about a 4-pound bird, maybe just a little bit under it. And I don't normally have to measure the temperature. An hour for 4 pounds works out just right. But if you want to be safe, take the temperature. I think most people recommend that the breast should be about 100, 175. But look, as I pick this up, you'll see one of the thighs just falls right off. That's always a good sign that it's done. It's ready. It would have been nice if I'd been a little smoother with getting this out of the pan, but what are you going to do? Now you can see everything that's left on the bottom of that pan, and I did put the backbone in there just to get a little bit extra flavor. You can certainly go